Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're about to start our communion bread process, and before we get started, we're just going to have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be able to participate in this process together. We ask that you would bless this bread and this effort that we are making, and we ask that you would just make our communion special. In the name of Jesus, amen. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Pastor Harden, and I am just shooting a video on how to make the communion bread. Now, I have my recipe in front of you. My recipe, I doubled it because I want to make it for a little bit more people. But the recipe as was given to you should have it is a half a cup of whole grain flour, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of water, and 1/8 cup of olive oil. Again, mine are going to be double that in order for me to make it just for a little bit larger group. All right, so it says start sift the flour and the salt together. We're just going to go ahead and put that in. All right, so that's my flour. So mine is a cup of flour and mine is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, so I'm just going to mix that together. All right, that is together. Now it says pour in the water, and you can see I have all of my ingredients here. It's only 4 ingredients: water, whole wheat flour, salts, and olive oil or vegetable oil if you don't have olive oil. So next it says pour the water into the oil. All right, pour the water into the oil. So I'm gonna pour because my oil is already up to the top here, I'm gonna pour my oil into this cup. And I need 2 tablespoons of water. I already have some water here. So mine needs 2 tablespoons of water because my recipe again is double. All right, so I've got the water in. All right. And, all right, so after the water is in the oil, then I add this to the dry, and it says mix with a fork. All right. I just have my spoon here. All right, my assistant, Simon, is handing me a fork. Now, as I'm making mine, in fact, you can see it here, it seems to be a little dry. And so I'm going to add a little more water in order to make sure that it's wet enough, because we're gonna need to roll this out. Still a little bit dry. You should be able to kind of make a ball with it. And again, we gave you a recipe based on a half a cup of flour because it makes a whole lot. In fact, there may be somebody that you need to share. Let me make sure I got all of my oil and water mixture in here, so I'm getting all that moisture. All right, still just a tad dry. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of this water. This is gonna bake at 450 degrees, and so even if I were to accidentally get it a little bit too wet, then it's gonna all cook on out. Okay, let me show you how that's coming. It's coming just like that. Now I'm gonna take it and just make a ball with it. Yeah. All right, so here it is. Here's my ball of bread. I'm gonna set my bowl to the side. I have a pan that I'm gonna roll it out onto, and I've just got a little bit of additional flour so that I can roll it out. This is supposed to be rolled out about 1/8 of an inch thick, so really small, okay? I have my nifty rolling pin. The only challenging part is I'm not baking it on I'm gonna need my cutter, the one that has 4 things. I'm not baking it on this, so the only challenging part is I have got to transfer the bread from here to my cooking surface. And if you have a toothpick, look, because what's going to happen is, if you can, you really want to try to pre-cut these before you, I'm going to use a little cutter so I can section them out. That'll work. Thank you. All right, I am rolling this out. Okay. Here's what it looks like rolled out. All right. Just grab those edges just a little bit. All right, now I need my baking surface. I've got a cookie sheet here. Okay, so I've got to transfer this to my baking sheet. Let's find out the easiest way to do it. Yep, we're gonna do that gently. Just grab the whole thing. Okay. Now I have it all here. Now I'm gonna do 2 more things before we bake it. Let me see. I have a nifty cutter here. If you have a pizza pan, a pizza roller, or if not, just a little thing. So I'm gonna use this so I can go ahead and easily make my bread pieces. I like this thing because I can get everything about the same size. Again, you probably won't have one of these, or you may or may not. Okay, now that I've done that, I can go in the opposite direction. And these are still pretty big pieces of bread, so we may end up going halvesies on these to size them down just a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna go right in the middle of these. Hopefully we don't make them too small. Okay. And I'm gonna go half again here. All right, it is also recommended, they have a tendency to puff up, and so it is recommended that you just take a toothpick and just kind of pop the top of it, and that way it has less of a tendency to puff up like that when you are baking. Here's what it looks like after it's been cut up. I'm gonna take my toothpick and hit a few of these. It's a lot of them, so feel free to make your bread pieces as large as you would like. Okay. You should have preheated your oven to 450 degrees. We have done that. All right, and because everything is, we'll show you the rest. So here's what it looks like afterwards, okay? All right, and we're gonna get ready to put this in the oven because our camera is in a set spot. We'll just kind of show you some of the after pictures on after everything is done. After they're done, you probably want to let them cool for a moment, and if you cut it up like this, then you can go ahead and break it into pieces and have it prepared for communion.